Hello! Today we're going to talk and learn a little bit more about TED and TED Talks, TED Ed, and everything that has to do with these inspirational videos that all are housed under the title TED. So what you would want to do first is go to TED Talks or just TED.com. If you just Google search TED, that's going to be the easiest way to. So just TED and it'll be probably the first thing that comes up here. So you have ideas worth sharing and spreading. And I'm just going to click on that. So this will be the website that'll come up first, and you'll see that, there's kind of a cool way that you can pull up these different videos. Now, what I usually do is I just search what I'm looking for. So because I teach art, or whatever your subject matter is, you can just search whatever that is. So I'm just going to press art, and then it's going to pull up all these different videos, and these are actually playlists, they're called. So there's 7 different people that talked about objects of desire, and these would be all artist presentations and how objects of desire have been displayed throughout history or whatever they're talking about. Here's another one with 11 talks, and you can go through and watch these different playlists. Another way to search on TED is if you just go to talks, then it will just bring up the individual talks about art or whatever it is your subject matter you're doing. Up here at the top you have these different ideas of how you can search for just the talks, and then you see all these different talks here, and you can really refine your search on the left here. Now, going into some of the different features on TED, it's really limitless in what you want to do, but what I would suggest doing is just registering right here. It's free to register, and then you can kind of be a part of this online community of people that are interested in being inspired. Let's just say that. So if you're on TED, then you see up here there's this TED Prize. I think that's really cool because each year they give someone in their TED community a prize of kind of the ultimate presentation that was done throughout the year. So 2 years ago, there was an artist that did the TED Prize, and I showed it in my class, and it's really, I think the kids they rant and they rave about this TED video that I show in my class. But here's a new feature that's really great, and I didn't talk about it in the presentation too much, but here's TED Ed. So if you go to TED Ed, it's going to pretty much give you this wonderful resource where you can take YouTube videos. So let's say you have this YouTube video that you want to show in your class, but you want it more interactive. So what you would do is you bring your students to the computer lab or something like that, and you share this link with them, and then they're on this TED, and not only can they watch the video, because why not just play it on YouTube in front of the whole class, but there's ways that you can create multiple choice short answer questions, and these questions then will populate to a kind of gradable or even a already graded sheet that you can see what they did, and you can dig deeper, it's called, but pretty much you'll be able to link to different things so that the students can learn more about the subject and go above and beyond, and this can be actually your platform for teaching. Now at our school, this is in some ways what our school kind of looks like, and TED is actually giving that as a resource to you as a classroom teacher to use directly from their website. So if you're moving on, here are some of the different topics for teachers under TED Ed, inventions that shape history. These questions and math in real life, how wonderful is that? So if you click on something like this, it'll probably say, oh, here we go. So it actually brings up these different TED Talks and how just videos that you can play, and these are actually, I think, lessons, but I'm guessing that if I click here, oh yeah, it does go to it. So then it'll play this video, and then there's 5 multiple choice questions already created, and so you can create this, or you can just use it in your classroom. So you can show the video, then you'll have these multiple choice questions, and you'll go through and answer all these multiple choice questions for your students. Here are the short answer ones. It won't let me register, or it won't let me do this because I'm not signed in. So once you kind of create an account, you'll be good to go. And the dig deeper, discussions. Here's a huge thing that we do a lot in our school that I think would be awesome to use more of, but just having these discussions where in class the student might be a little concerned about raising their hand, and maybe they're a quieter student and don't like to really participate, where in these discussions you can have each person have an assignment to post to the discussion board. So then you're for sure hearing each student's opinions on this discussion topic, whatever it may be, in regards to this video about mathematics of history and this person that created it. But that's just one of the really cool features of TED. I'm always just loving the different professional development resources for myself, and kind of seeing what industry leaders in whatever field it is. It's just really interesting to see, Ken Robinson talk about how schools can sometimes hurt creativity rather than, working with the students to really maximize their creativity. And there's just all these wonderful videos that you can be found here. And if you haven't watched a TED, or if you've already seen one TED, I really encourage you to be a part of this professional development resource, and this resource for your students to kind of take a hold of who they're looking up to and what they are doing. Now, if you go to TEDx Teens, this is the other part that I talked about in my presentation. I'll just touch on it briefly because it's kind of similar to TED, but pretty much it's just these wonderful videos of all these different stories of teens and how they're affecting the world today already at their young age. So whether it's pretty much people that are geniuses and have been tested and are as smart as Einstein, and then they're going and using that to solve these problems or do these different things. But these TEDx Teens are just wonderful, absolutely wonderful resources to just play in your class if you have extra time, or even there are applicable topics to the different talks from these teens. So you have these different resources here that you can watch and play in your classroom, and hopefully what I've seen is the students just get excited about it because it's someone that's their age, they can relate to it, and they, the person that's giving the presentation is a little bit nervous, and they can really relate to that experience of maybe public speaking or whatever it may be. So this is what I have on TED, and I really look forward to hopefully having you go through these different resources and not only just getting to know them, but really using them on a weekly basis. Like, why not make it your goal to watch one TED a week, and then with the different TEDs you see, I have a great feeling that somehow they'll be applicable in your classrooms. And you can always search for actual videos that would be directly applicable. This TED Ed is a wonderful resource that I'm really excited to kind of be a part of and get working with it as it's developing here. So I hope you have a wonderful time working with TED, and thanks for checking out this little tutorial on kind of how things work in TED.